Hey guys, in this video I'll be showing you guys how variables are used in Roblox Lua and how you can use this inside your code. So basically I'll be teaching you guys how to code using variables. So let's get right into it. So I'm gonna remove this real quick. So first you want to do to make a script, you want to I want to get straight into it so you guys can understand the concept. So we're gonna put a script inside a workspace. We're gonna click on the big plus here when we hover our mouse over workspace. We're gonna click on script and we're gonna get rid of this print hello world and let's get right into it. So variables are a way to help us store our data and keep our code looking clean and make sure all our code is optimized. So let's say we want to do print. We want to print 5 plus 10, and that's going to print, of course, 15. So we're gonna have 15 right here. And then let's say you want to print 10. Let's say we want to do 5 plus 7, 5 plus 5 actually, and that's gonna give us 10. And then let's say right after we get our two values here, we get 15 and 10, right? Let's say after we print 5 plus 10, we press 5 plus 5. Let's say you want to print them two together, right? So now we're gonna do print 5 plus 10, and then we're gonna do plus 5 plus 5, and this should give us 25. Boom, 25 right here. So now this is gonna be a real hassle. Let's say you want to keep adding. Let's say you're using the number 5 a lot, and it's a repetitive. Let's say you see it's repetitive inside your code, and you're like, okay, let me try to see what I can do to try to avoid using all these 5s and try to make sure my code is a little bit cleaner. So instead of you doing repetitive stuff like this, we have variables so they can help us. It's gonna help us decrease the amount of times we're replicating the same thing. So instead of us using like print 5, print plus 5, print plus 5, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do local x equals 5. And you're probably like, why do you just go from local x equals 5? So I'll explain it all the way down. So local is just our way of helping us declare our variables. So this is gonna help us declare the variable. And we're gonna have the x, and this x that we see here, this is basically gonna be naming the variable. So we're gonna be naming it. And after that, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna put the equal sign. So we want to make the variable equal to something, and we want to assign it a value. And these values can be either booleans, and the booleans are basically true or false values. It can be strings, it can be ints, it can be floats. So it's a lot of things that variables can be basically anything if you can optimize them that way. But it can really be anything. So let's say you want to for example, local x is going to be equal to 5. So we made a variable called local x. So x is going to be equal to 5. And let's say we want to make another one. So local y is going to be equal to 10. So now if we did print x plus y, now we can just print that, and it prints 15. And simple like that. And that means that means anytime we use x and y, it's always gonna be equal to our x. Our x is always gonna be equal to 5, and our y is also gonna be equal to 10. So the most important part about variables is that people try to jump into getting advanced with variables, and they start doing stuff like this, like they start doing like y equals like 10, then they start putting it on the same line. Because you can do stuff like this, like y will still you can still get y of 10. Like if you do print y, you will still get 10. Because what you're doing here is basically putting like a semicolon, basically telling the code that, okay, I'm done using the code here, and I want you to continue on with the code. So basically, we're putting that semicolon here, so we can just give y equal to 10. Because in most code, you don't have to put local. But in Roblox Lua, I want you to enforce yourself to use local. So local is also going to be your go-to. So let's say you want to make we want to add 3 numbers together. So local num1 is going to be equal to 1, local num2 is going to be equal to 10, and local num3 is going to be equal to 1,000, right? And let's say we want to multiply these values. So we want to do print, let's do num1 times num2. And then let's say you want to get the result from this, right? So instead of using print, we would do something like this. We would just do local result is going to be equal to num1 times num2. So now the result is going to be equal to whatever 1 times 10 is, which is going to give us 10. And after we do that, that basically saves a lot of code. So every time we get the result, we can just keep using it over and over again. And we only don't have it in a print function. That's going to be really helpful. And when let's say we want to divide this by 1,000, right? So basically by num3. So what we can do here, if you can do print, or instead we can do local new result, we can do equals result divided by num3. So basically what we're doing here is, all we're doing is we're getting this result, which is going to be equal to num1 times num2, and we're dividing it by num3, which is 1,000. And if we were able to print it right here, we do print new result. It's going to give us 0.01. And let's say you want to change it up, and let's say you want to add 100,000. It's going to change like that. It's going to change it just like that. So now we're going to get 100. Let's say you want to change this number to, let's say 12. Right? Boom. And the really cool thing with Roblox Lua is, let's say I want to put 12.12, right? And knowing that we're about to do it, this is basically going to be our float, and we're going to basically multiply by an int, and then we're going to divide it by another integer. So let's see what's going to happen. Nothing happened, the same thing. So this is why Roblox Lua is really helpful, because regardless of what type of data type you're using, if it's within that same group, so since it's an int and it's like it's a number, it's in a number category, it's able to be divided, it's able to be used. So for example, we have strings as well. So let's say local new string is going to be equal to string, and actually let's do local hello is going to be equal to hello, and then we're going to have another variable called world. So world. So what we're going to do here, let's say we want to print hello and we want to print world. So we want to do print. Let's do print. Let's see that. So I'm going to print hello world. And this is just a simple way of concatenating. So basically, I'll just break it down for you. Dot is basically going to help us add these expressions together so we can get hello world. So it's going to say boom right there, hello world. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with strings, a lot of things you can do with variables just in general, and one more important one, we have booleans. So we have bool yes, it's going to be equal to true. We're going to have bool no, it's going to be equal to false, and we're going to have local bool yes, bool whatever. It's going to be equal to not true, and we're going to have local bw is going to be equal to not false. So what we're doing here is basically not true is just the same as saying false, and not false is just the same as saying true. So just don't let this confuse you at all, because a lot of people like to do stuff like this, which kind of confuse the programmer, because it's just like, why put not false? You just put true or false. But it's just a simple way that people want to do, to try to confuse people, or try to make your code kind of fancy. But I just want you to encourage using true and false. So if you were to print, let's say bool yes, and let's say we print bool no, it's going to print true and false. And if we were to print the bool whatever, and we were able to print the bw, let me just copy this. Now it's going to print false, and then it's going to print true, as we see here. Because not is going to do the opposite of whatever the Boolean value is going to do. So it's going to be not true, so it's going to be false, and it's not false, it's going to be true. And you can do a lot of stuff with these variables as well, and these are the main things you can do with variables that makes it really helpful. So let's say we want to have a boolean called bool yes equal to true, and then we're going to do local string, so we're going to do local hello equals hello. Then we're going to have do this here, have our local integer, let's do that. It's going to be equal to 12. And let's say that's basically all we want to use, and we can just print these values out like this. So we can print them bool yes, we can do print hello, we can do print enter. And what it's going to do is going to print that all out for us, which makes it super simple and super convenient. So it's going to help us go back to it. So if we want to use this enter again, what we can do here, we can do plus, and we can do plus that, and then we can do it again, and then we can do it again, and then we can do it again. It's really helpful instead of just having the same thing. Because if this was a bigger number, let's say we want to make it to this huge number, or let's do it to 5,000. You don't have to change this to 5,000, change this to 5,000. All you gotta do is change the variable to 5,000, and it just changes throughout the whole code. So that's why, boom, we get this huge number. We get 250,000. So, boom, let's see, we want to change this to false as well. We want to change this to not hello. You can print this. And boom, what do we get here? What are variables printed out? So this is why variables are super helpful, and I want to make sure that you guys understand the concept of variables because they're going to be a huge part to any type of coding you're going to do in Java, Python, C++, C#, any type of coding. So you want to make sure you grasp this concept because it's going to be really important. And if you learned something from this video, I hope you guys really enjoy. And I'm going to be explaining how to use variables just in general and how it's going to be helpful in Roblox.